Yes. Oh! It's a very functional, very high quality, good looking interior that gets the job done. In 2024, physical controls are never a downside. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at this 2024 Audi Q5. This is the Premium Plus trim, and this is the 45 TFSI. That means we get the more potent 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, making about 261 horsepower. Under the hood, that is mated to a 7-speed automatic transmission and Audi Quattro as standard. This is the normal Q5, I guess, SUV crossover, not the Sportback. I think that adds about $1,200 to the mix and gives it that angular rear end. Finally, this car is tested, I believe, about 57,000 with all the options. I have a window sticker, so I'll pull that up in a bit, but I'll also have a screenshot of it in the description. So let's take a walk around. We're going to be doing a night drive as well as a normal day drive. I'm trying to incorporate that into some of the cars. So a little bit about the Q5. This shares a platform with my Audi S4, you know, the A4, A5 family. So starting with the S-Line, you get an S-Line badge on the side, but it doesn't really offer any other sporty extras in my opinion. There's a black optics package available, but you still get a lot of this chrome that would kind of hint away from its being sporty. But we got these 20-inch wheels. They look very nice on some Continental 255 45 R20. Surprisingly, they don't intrude on the ride quality too much, the 20-inch wheels. But the Q5 is a pleasantly surprising SUV in terms of size. Despite being shared with a small sedan platform, you got plenty of space. These seats can be easily folded down from the rear with these 2 levers, and we get an inflatable spare tire underneath. But yeah, ton of space. Let's knock those down. And they lock into place, and you can release them here. So I'll release this one to show you. But yeah, plenty of space, surprisingly, very comfortable. This hatch goes up extremely high, and it's a good looking SUV. I'm not the biggest fan of Audi's SUVs. The SQ5 is not something I would like necessarily upgrade to from the S4. Do like that SQ7. Again, not the best looking car, but this is a pretty good looking spec. It's their Daytona gray metallic, $600 option. We got that Okapi brown interior. Looks pretty sharp. Classic Audi front end, Quattro badge, their lovely LED headlights. I think those are some parking sensors in the rear, front, and then you also get some rear parking sensors. Let's check out the back seats. So up these seats so you can unlock it down here. There's a little lock, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, this impresses in the rear for sure. Sorry, it's a little cold out, but sitting behind myself, plenty of headroom, even with this panoramic sunroof, which looks really nice. Plenty of room behind myself, I'd say well over 6 inches, if not more. Materials, while not the best back here, are very nice, solid feeling Audis. We have independent climate control, 2 USBs. Brown leather is very nice. And we get our cup holders. Get a pretty decent driveline hump, but still plenty of room to really stretch out and get comfortable. We're pretty familiar with this interior, very classic Audi. You got your touchscreen, a lot of physical controls and dials and knobs and switches for your climate control, heated seats, drive modes, all that good stuff. Very odd center console storage. I mean, you have that little square in front of the shifter and the one deeper recess in there. You really can't put much in there. But it's a very functional, very high quality, good looking interior that gets the job done. In 2024, physical controls are never a downside. We'll check out that 45 TFSI, 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, making 261 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. Made it to a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, sitting transversely in this engine bay. Very smooth, very easy off the line. Pretty fuel efficient. I think it's 22 MPG in the city and 29, 30 on the highway. Makes good power. Nothing inspiring, but the 45 versus the 40 TFSI is definitely the engine of choice. Plenty for a daily driver, plenty to get around town. And this thing actually launches pretty hard. I'll show that later. It's kind of funny because this is not performance oriented. This is luxury oriented, and it does an excellent job, this Q5. So in terms of how this space is versus my car, you get a little bit more space between, like, you know, this side of the door to that door, but everything is very similar. Got the digital gauge cluster, which is included in the Premium Plus. We also get 360 camera with some guided lines and plenty of views to scroll through. This is also included in the Premium Plus. We also get the upgraded Bose 3D audio system, Bang & Olufsen. But pretty familiar with this digital gauge cluster. You can have kind of different views where it's focusing more on the gauge cluster, or the additional menus such as your oil temp and some traffic information, driver assistance, energy consumers, and trip computer. You can also go through your different views, Apple CarPlay, your phone, and a map. Always a great party trick for Audis. Still got that hidden storage over here, your light controls over here, memory included in this Premium Plus. On the lower trim, it's in the convenience package. Here's the Audi key. I believe they've included remote start. Not sure if you can activate it on the key, but 2024 finally included that. Audi got off their high horse with German emissions. And this center touchscreen is laid out differently, and it's a little bit more snappy than mine, but there's not any reason you're going to be in here. Maybe to set some settings for your first drive, you know, driver assistance. We do get a slew of these, including traffic jam assist and Audi active lane assist. System that's just been refined and redone over time. We do get some drive modes which are selectable. Down here, we also get wireless CarPlay. We got off-road, comfort, auto, dynamic, individual. Not really much changes except maybe throttle, tuning, and your steering weight. As you can see here, we'll start off in auto. And we got these very nice tactile climate buttons, heated seats, heated steering wheel, which I have, believe, blasting. Yep. And you can defeat your start-stop, traction control, bring up your parking sensors and cameras, all with physical, nice-feeling buttons. Leather feels nice. I'm really digging these brown seats, the adjustable headrest, easy close and open sunshade on the panoramic roof, very nice. Yeah, just a great looking interior, classic Audi, very functional. Storage is limited and stuff. This shifter is very nice. Go to reverse, drive, and you got your parking brake. So let's take this on a drive, talk about the driving dynamics, driving characteristics, and see what we think. Car needs a little bit to warm up, but right off the bat, very smooth shifts from the 7-speed, very crisp, decently responsive. We'll demonstrate that later. And this 2-liter 4-cylinder is potent enough for your daily driving. It's not inspiring, has plenty of passing power for most people on the highway. But the thing I like about it is it does a good job masking its 4-cylinder nature, and gives you a quiet, smooth driving experience. All these luxury manufacturers are going towards 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engines, and I think Audi has been in the game for the longest with Volkswagen Group, and they're doing a good job in this iteration. Ride quality is surprisingly good on these 20-inch wheels. If you don't get adaptive suspension, that's available as adaptive air suspension in the SQ5. The brake pedal is pretty smooth and progressive, and we do have a 12-volt mild hybrid system, which probably won't activate yet because it's a little chilly. At low speeds, your steering is light, easily controllable. And even under load, like I said, that 4-cylinder is pretty effortlessly quiet and smooth. Handling, this chassis is very neutral, very minimal understeer. Yes, I know I'm going 20 miles an hour, but even around these corners, body roll is kept to a minimum. But again, this is not a sporty driving car, but it does a good job not being too boaty. You don't get really much road feel and texture through the steering wheel, but the steering wheel is pretty light around corners. A little bit understeer, but we are also just getting off some snowy weather conditions. Show you a quick launch. I don't know if we're warmed up enough yet. Throw it into dynamic, automatically throws the transmission into S, otherwise you just go back on the shifter from D to S, and we'll turn off our stabilization control. And yeah, no, it's not warmed up enough yet. Darn. Having trouble finding places to do launches. So let's go back to auto, take it nice and easy around these corners. I do like Audi's 4-cylinders. They kind of have a little bit of a winding. I think that's from the transmission. For a decently large crossover, not the biggest in the class, but not the smallest, handles pretty well. Let's go back into dynamic. First, we'll talk about visibility. Pretty good visibility in glass around here. I'm sitting pretty low because that's what I like in my driving position, but lots of glass, no blind spots, and it doesn't feel like much more than a lifted A4 in terms of visibility. Ever so in the distance you hear a nice little boom from the dual clutch, 7-speed automatic transmission. Ever so slightly. I think it's just characteristic of these Volkswagen Group transmissions. We'll leave it in dynamic. Take one last corner. Yeah, pretty neutral. You obviously feel the weight of that engine over the front axle, characteristic of Audis, but very neutral through most corners. I wonder if we can sneak in a launch up here. But it's a little busy today. But maybe we can. Nice, okay. Foot hard on the brake, pin the accelerator. No, it doesn't want to launch. It's not liking me today. That is for sure. But as you can see, plenty of power, very smooth, very linear, power delivery, and nothing to complain about. We throw this throw this into S, see how we handle getting onto the highway. Come on, give me one more chance, Audi. Pin it really hard. Yes. Oh! Thank you, Audi. Very nice. Yeah, launching any SUV with some form of brake boosting mode is always more impressive than a sedan. You get more rotation rearward because of the size of the car, and that was nice. I think this gets around like 5.5 seconds maybe to 60. It's pretty swift, but on the highway, where you're spending most of your time in this car, you get predictive adaptive cruise control, and works very well. It's very odd. At my 2022, this feature was very difficult to unlock, but it'll prompt you to take over the wheel. We do get blind spot monitoring, but let's see if we can get past this slow driver and how the car will respond. I like that it starts to accelerate as I get into the lane to make the pass. On the highway, cruising at around 70 though. A little bit of road and tire noise as you expect from some larger wheels, but very little wind noise, vibrations, all that good stuff. Audi interiors, I know I'm a fanboy, are just solid and bolted together. So I have to return this car to the dealer, but how can we sum up the Audi Q5? Well, it does the luxury comfort thing very well. Are you expecting blow-away performance? No, and I think just coming from a S4, which shares a lot of underpinnings to this car, I was expecting a little bit more, but very comfortable. The seats are excellent. They're well bolstered, but not over bolstered. You got lumbar, power adjustments, all this good stuff. So make for an excellent cruiser on the highway. Throw the family in the back, throw the dog, no problem. Maybe don't throw the dog or family, but very practical, good looking, excellent tech, pretty reliable too. This 2-liter 4-cylinders corporate VW group, and I'm sure is a stout performer if you take care of it. Versus the competition, X3, GLC, Genesis, GV70, Lexus. I mean, everything's kind of going 2-liter 4-cylinders, and then there are some 3-liter twin-turbo V6s or regular turbo V6s, like in the X3, M40i, GV70, the SQ5. But it's really about what your priorities are. BMW, a little more sportiness, go for the X3. GLC, a little bit more comfort, a little bit more pizzazz for Mercedes, go with that one. Audi kind of balances. Genesis is more dynamically tuned as a rear-wheel drive based platform to be a BMW, but you get excellent value there. Lexus, Acura, and the RDX from Acura, and the NX or the RX, NX from Lexus, definitely value comfort alternatives that probably wouldn't handle to the near level as this Audi, and definitely not the BMW or GLC. So it's really test drive, pick your flavor, what looks better, and you know, kind of nitpicking those details and stuff. But Audi as always has a nice interior. While the material choices are questionable in some area, everything is solid and well built, even this plastic door handle. So with that being said, hope everyone enjoyed the video. Please give it a like, subscribe, and we'll be back with more content as always. And on to the next one. See ya.